How's it going, everyone? Matt, Leighton, Shawn Battle. Welcome back to another real estate video. In today's video, it's all about new construction, buying brand new construction from the developer, from the builder. Shawn, how you doing today?
I am doing good, man. How you doing?
Good. I had something that hasn't happened to me in a while. I got a DM from someone, and they were like, "I can no longer follow you. I'm gonna unsubscribe from you because of your content." I offended them somehow.
Really?
Yeah, in one of my stories, they were just literally offended. And I was thinking, man, I shouldn't have put out that story. Then I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna do me, and if someone doesn't like that, they can change the channel, right? They can unsubscribe from me. So that's what's going on. I have a closing tomorrow, a couple coming up in April and May. And what's new in Arlington is this new development called 2000 Clarendon. So it's a high-rise development, 15 stories, and a lot of clients have reached out and been like, what's the deal with this? Can we get in and see it? You know, it's not built yet. So in this video, what we want to do is talk about the initial steps, right? Like the 101 class of new development. Shawn used to work for a new development company, a builder, or new sales team, so no better person to ask than this guy here. So if someone was interested in starting the new build process, we're talking about a condo, what would be like the first couple steps that they would have to do?
Is this builder or is this
the buyer? This is the buyer.
So the buyer, keep in mind this is a lot different than buying a resale. So when you talk to a builder, you're going to be talking to a representative of the builder. Every builder is going to be different on what they require. So first things first is your deposit is going to probably be higher than you're used to. In most cases. Now there's some small projects that, you know, everything changes, but if we're talking about this project over here, they're probably going to require between 3 and 5% as a deposit up front.
Yeah. So usually it's 1.5 to 3%. For new construction, it's 3 to 5.
Yeah, I would put it around there. So I'm probably guessing they're going to ask for about $25,000, $30,000 for a deposit. So that's one thing that you want to start thinking about now is, you know, getting into these condos is going to be difficult. We're in a market right now where, man, these things could probably sell very quickly.
Yeah.
The whole building will probably sell like that. There's 87 units.
Yeah, not a lot of units.
Yeah, we haven't seen a new condo project in a while that in this kind of market. You know, back in 2003, 2004, when all these buildings were built in Arlington, there were people wrapped around the building to get in, just to get into the opportunity to write.
Right.
So I feel like we're kind of there again.
Do you think that some have already sold, even though they're not available to the public?
So what happens is the sales company might open it up to friends and family first. So friends and family get to choose all of the good units, and then they'll open it up to the public. So all of those nice units that you really want might be gone before you even get a chance.
The best ones might be gone.
Yeah.
So is this an opportunity for buyers to customize the interior, or for condos, is it like you get pallet A, B, or C?
Yeah, it's more pallet A, B, C.
Okay.
So you'll have a few pallets, and you know, if they don't sell in a certain amount of time, then the builder or the sales company will start choosing what pallet goes into what thing. So if you get in there early enough, right now we're just a hole in the ground, so you can basically choose the pallet you want.
Okay, and in terms of this new sale compared to a resale, how do the contingencies work? Do you still have a home inspection? Do you still have financing? Do you still have to have it appraised? How does that go down?
So let's start with home inspection. You can still do a home inspection. The good thing about new construction is they'll basically fix everything. You can go through there with your blue tape, you know, click it everywhere, and they'll fix it. So that's always a good thing. A lot of times the home inspectors will say that's the best time to hire a home inspector is on new construction, you know, especially for a single family home, you know, I mean, so that's them trying to get the business, but you can do a pre-drywall inspection, that kind of thing. So you can still do that, and you're going to do walkthroughs before you settle, and they'll probably do a 6-month checklist after you've settled to go through and do another checklist.
So even after 6 months of living there?
Yeah, because you're going to have settlement cracks, nail pops, things like that, where they'll come back and they'll fix certain items. For the most part, yeah, they're pretty good about it.
Okay, and in terms of condo fees, is that something where it's set in stone, or are those automatically going to rise at some point?
Yeah, so from what I've seen in the past, a lot of times a builder will skimp on the condo fees, right? So they want to do the sales, so they'll create this whole scenario where, all right, the condo fee for a 1-bedroom is $300 and the condo fee for a 2-bedroom is $500, but it's all based on square footage. But in my experience, they've always under budgeted. Right. So as soon as the owners take over, they realize, hey, we don't have really enough money to be going. So then you're going to see this increase. So a lot of times a builder will, maybe be a little skimpy on them.
Yeah, a little skimpy. So in terms of the appraisal and the lending, can you use your own lender? Can you use a credit union, your bank, or do you have to use the builder's lender?
Yeah, so this is where it gets a little dicey, because when you're doing a new construction, especially in a condo building, let's talk about a condo building, there will be a lender and a title company that the builder recommends. And it's almost like at the beginning you should probably use them. They'll give you an incentive usually to use them. And the reason that it's there is because right now it's just a hole in the ground. So if you and I were going to buy a condo right now, we would probably use one of our local lenders, and they would go by Fannie Freddie guidelines. Well, with this, you can't go by Fannie Freddie guidelines until you're 50% under contract, or somewhere around there, 30 to 50%. These rules change all the time. So basically, they have to be. It's better to use the person that's doing financing, because they know the building, and what they're probably doing is portfolioing the loans, holding on to the loans, so that you can settle. So otherwise, they'd have to sell it to the secondary market, and they wouldn't be able to because they're not 50% sold.
Gotcha.
So that's why you would use the company in there, and you'll get maybe a $5,000 credit to do so. On the title side, I would probably just use their title company as well, because they're already doing the work for the building through the county and everything. So they know the building. So if you're using an outside company, they have to ask all the questions that these title companies already know. So it's just simpler just to use who they're dealing.
So you mentioned a $5,000 credit that the lender can give. What about the builder incentive? Do you think there's going to be any builder incentives?
I doubt it. I think they know the market's pretty hot. So I would say that they'll probably give you some sort of incentive to use their lender and their title company. It might be $5,000. They're going to build that into the price. But so take it if you can get it, right? Take that incentive. But I don't think any further incentive will come.
Yeah.
And those first people in the door to buy that condo will get the best scenario. And it really just depends on the market what will happen in the future. So those people in the middle are buying after these first few have sold. If they sold quickly, they're going to start escalating those prices. But if the market fails, then you're going to see that downturn. And I've seen it go both ways.
And so at one of the last projects, Key and Nash in Roslyn, low-rise, mid-rise condominium, I saw some get sold immediately from the builder, and then they were instantly put back up on the resale market for like a little bit higher. I don't know if these people are making any money, but do you foresee people doing that in a hot market?
Yeah.
Hey, I'm going to wait in line, and then I'm going to flip this for $50,000.
Absolutely. I actually tried to do it.
Yeah.
Back in the day. So I bought a new construction. We went under contract before it was ever built, and unfortunately the market tanked.
Yeah.
Right. So we actually got out of the contract, and there's ways to get out of the contract, but you've got to be careful. So the builder is going to give you the condo disclosures, right? Just like you would get for a resale. But one delay that might be happening here is that they need a lawyer to draw up these condo disclosures, the rules and regulations of the condo. Yeah. And you have a right of rescission period, which is longer on a new construction project, and it's different for every jurisdiction. So Virginia, I don't know the exact days on this. I think it might be between 7 and 10 days. I think DC is 15 days.
Okay.
Whereas in a resale, you have 3 days.
Okay.
So what the builder is doing is getting all these documents together, and they might wait until they have them together before they start selling, because in essence, what you could do is write a contract, and the builder doesn't have these, and then 6 months down the road, they finally give them to you, then you have a 10-day right of rescission, you can yank out.
You can back out.
So it's better for them to hold on and just say, all right, we're going to wait until we get these documents so that they have their 10 days up front, and then we're done.
Gotcha. Right? What do you think is a top mistake, right? The biggest mistake that that buyers make when they purchase new construction? What do you think a mistake would be?
I mean, I don't know about mistakes. I would say that not knowing the market, right? I mean, overpaying is probably the one big mistake, because builders are good at flubbing things, right? And saying, oh, well, this one, and this one are already under contract. Where they're probably not. They're probably, what they'll do is show you a big scenario of the building and say, these are all under contract. And you're like, wow, I got to buy, right?
Yeah.
So they use that as a bait to try to pull you in and sell you something. But they're good at keeping you at the price that they want you at.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that'll offer, but honestly, when things are hot, they're not going to take your offer. They're going to say no. I mean, we've got plenty of people waiting behind you. So, on one hand, don't overpay, but on the second hand, know in a hot market there's somebody behind you waiting for it. So, buy it if you want it, right?
Right. Yeah. I mean, it just comes down to the value. I mean, what do you think the ones and the twos are worth to you? I mean, it might be on the top end of the market, but if you feel it's valuable, if you want to live in it for the next 5 to 7 years, certainly it's of value to the.
Well, and the thing is, you're going to pay a premium. Right. So if you look at the prices of 2000 Clarendon right now compared to resales, they're a good bit higher price per square foot than a resale, and that's because they're brand new. Yeah. You're paying a premium for a brand new property naturally.
Yeah. Cool.
One other thing, I want you to be aware that the builder contract is different than a contract that we would write, okay? So our contract is very buyer-sided, it's very buyer protective. The builder contract naturally is going to be very builder protective. So they have ways out of pretty much everything. There could be delays in construction. That's all built into this contract, so keep that in mind. You say, all right, they're going to deliver next June, okay? So you're going to sell your house and get it ready so that you can settle next June. But what if there's a delay? And this happened to me in Gaslight Square, the last project. I had 4 new buyers in that project, and we were delayed a good 6 weeks.
Wow.
And so everybody was like, what do I do? So keep that in mind. The builder contract is going to be sided for the builder, and just know that there could or might be delays. And the last thing you want to know is the builder needs to get occupancy permits from the county. So the county can hold them up as well. So you can't settle on a unit until they have the occupancy permits for that building or for that unit.
Do the builders also have ways to back out of the contract, ways to void the contract, or
yeah, in certain instances, but nothing glaring, right? Yeah. It's if, like, something goes awry, or construction stops for some reason. Yeah. They're going to have it built in there. Those contracts are pretty well ironclad for the builder.
Yeah. Cool. I'm excited, man. All the high-rise condos are in DC right now, so I'm looking forward. We haven't had a nice, solid high-rise condo in Arlington recently.
It's been so long, and you don't see those big buildings anymore. This is 87 units, which is a pretty good size, but man, we used to see 300, 400 units. It just doesn't happen anymore, and I think that's because of lending guidelines, really. Yeah. It's that 50% sold. It's that, that lender having to hold on to these loans. Yeah. Anyways, that's my thought.
Cool. Well, if you have any other questions about new construction, buy new construction, or any other issues like that, make sure to drop us a comment below. Shawn or myself will get back to you. Thank you very much for watching. For Shawn and for myself, we'll catch you next time.
Thank you.
See ya.